Welcome back to Dixie Alley Weather Center. My name is Caleb Crick. Today is Friday, September 5th, 2025, and I've got a lot of updates for you today, especially as we continue to track our Tropical Development Center, Invest 91L, that is currently starting to get better organized. We are starting to get more of a feel for where we expect this to go, at least in the short term. Still very uncertain about the long term and the strength of this system, but we do expect it to develop over the next couple of days, maybe into this weekend or the beginning of next week, as it moves west towards some of the Leeward Islands in the Caribbean. This will move into the Caribbean. We do expect that for a short amount of time. The type of intensification before it reaches there is still pretty uncertain, and we'll talk about all that in today's video. We also have a severe storm risk to talk about today. That's why the lights are yellow, so that means we have a slight risk of severe weather, so let's get right into it. Here's a look at our severe weather risk for today. This is the day one severe weather outlook. You can see we have a slight risk for parts of the central and northern Dixie Alley. Now, I showed you this yesterday. This is when it was only in effect across parts of central and northern Tennessee. This has changed and expanded farther to the south and west. We do expect portions of central Tennessee all the way down into parts of northern Alabama and parts of northern Mississippi. Now, furthermore, we have a marginal risk of severe weather extends into parts of North Carolina, South Carolina, parts of northern Georgia, farther down into Alabama and Mississippi, and parts of northern Louisiana. The marginal risk, just a few scattered damaging winds, large hail. Not expecting anything huge with this. The slight risk is for some damaging winds, large hail, and maybe a tornado or two. We are expecting the chance for a spin-up tornado with the environment we have. Now, this is very rare. We don't normally see tornadoes in the month of September because of the summer conditions, but we have really cool air behind this front that is going to be moving in. Now, not like really cool air. Most of that's going to be centered off to the north, but we are still going to be seeing some below average temperatures as we pass this cold front, mixing with these warm, humid air temperatures that we have. We haven't really been seeing humid air temperatures, much humidity over the past few days. It's been pretty dry, especially central and northern parts of the Dixie Alley. A lot more humid today than it has been, a lot hotter today than it has been, a lot of energy to work with. The interesting thing about this storm system is it's not going to be an afternoon threat. This is going to be a late afternoon storm developing by the late afternoon into the evening, across parts of central and western Tennessee, moving off to the east. This is the main system. Other areas will see some scattered pop-up showers and strong showers and thunderstorms. Could even see a few prefrontals, damaging winds and large hail with those ones as well. But this threat will last late into the evening, overnight hours, maybe even into the early morning hours across parts of the central and northeastern parts of the Dixie Alley. We'll also see a round after that, 2 rounds. The first round will be the worst round. The second round, just expecting some heavy rain, frequent lightning with this round as it comes through in the early morning. It will already probably be across parts of central and northern Mississippi as we go throughout the early morning hours, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and then moving into parts of Alabama, Tennessee, to probably later in the morning, 7, 8 o'clock, and then moving off to the east and out of our hair into parts of the Carolinas, just causing some rain, showers, and thunderstorms. Once again, we're not over with the severe weather just with the day one. Day two, we have another risk of severe weather, a marginal risk of severe weather across parts of North Carolina, South Carolina, and central and northern Georgia. This includes areas like Gainesville, Atlanta, Georgia, up through Greensboro, North Carolina, through Greenville, South Carolina. We would expect some more damaging winds, large hail. Not expecting anything as intense as today, but maybe a few damaging winds, large hail. In with some of these storms, not expecting anything, like I said, not as strong as today. And it doesn't mean we aren't going to see any storms anywhere else. We could still see storms, especially throughout the morning hours, parts of Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, all throughout the Dixie Alley. Don't forget about Florida, some scattered daytime heating showers and thunderstorms. We're not expecting anything in the way of severe thunderstorms unless you're in these risk areas. So once again, I'm going to continue to keep you updated, especially throughout the afternoon and evening as these storms start to develop. And because of this front that is going to be moving through, we do expect temperatures to plummet again. Not really below average, but maybe a few areas below average temperatures in the mornings could feel pretty much like fall. During the day, barely getting out of the 80s. Some spots in the north, some areas down to the south, still in the upper 80s to low 90s, especially in Florida, not really getting the cool down. You guys will, in farther northern portions of Florida towards Jacksonville, areas along the Gulf panhandle of Florida, we do expect some cooler temperatures than normal. You guys have been baking in the heat like all August and parts of September too, or the beginning of September, but we will start to see a little bit of a cool down, not as much for areas like Louisiana, Mississippi, areas in southern Florida. Mississippi and Louisiana, you guys will get a couple days of cooler weather. This doesn't show it because this is 6 to 10 days, not accounting for the next couple of days. You guys will see that cool down after this severe weather gets through. We'll start to see a little bit of a cooler and drier air mass, especially the farther you go out to the east. More of a cool temperature weather pattern, especially as we go into throughout next week. The temperatures are expected to remain below average, especially along the east coast. Areas farther out to the west will start to warm up again, which we do expect to start to see a more above average September as we go farther into September in temperatures. We do expect some more above average temperatures, at least to close off the month of September. Once again, we're not even near the end of September, but once again, we've been having all those really cool temperatures. Summer's still going. We'll still have to see those 90s again. So once again, today we're seeing those 90s. So it's still pretty hot today before we get that cool down. But once again, hotter weather is on the way. And not only hotter weather, but drier weather too. We do expect to see a much below average precipitation across much of the Dixie Alley as we get past this severe weather event. As we get past the next couple of days, we will start to see above average rainfall as we go throughout the next couple of days with the this front that is going to be moving through. But after it pushes itself farther off to the east, we will start to see that cooler air, more of a dry weather pattern. We don't really expect any rainfall as we go into the next week. We don't really expect any kind of rainfall across much of the Dixie Alley. You can see across really much of central northern Dixie Alley, much below average precipitation. That's just the 6 to 10 days. We will start to see more rain as we go farther off into September. But once again, it doesn't mean no areas won't get any rain. Just most areas will remain pretty dry throughout much of next week, 6 to 10 days. We will start to see after we get this rain, we will start to dry off a little bit. And that's not going to be necessarily a bad thing, especially if a lot of us get a lot of rain. The areas that will be remaining above average in terms of precipitation will be along the east coast and parts of the peninsula of Florida, with more of the summertime air mass still in place. Summertime thunderstorms throughout the day. A lot of Gulf moisture, especially if we get that tropical system moving in. But before we get to the tropics, let's really quickly take a look at what's going on right now, what's going to be going on across the next couple of days. We still have that severe weather threat across much of the Dixie Alley today, across parts of the northern and central Dixie Alley, parts of the Carolinas, as we go throughout late tonight. Tennessee, Alabama, and Mississippi under the main threat, at least in our area of the Dixie Alley, for some, once again, damaging winds, large hail, and a few tornadoes. We will have to watch for the potential of that as we go throughout the next couple of hours and even into tomorrow across parts of the Carolinas. This is as we go into the future. This is as we go into the next couple of hours. Later in the afternoon, this is by 6 p.m., by the time you guys are eating supper, this big line will start to explode across parts of western Tennessee, moving towards the east. I can't rule out a few prefrontal storms, especially across parts of eastern Tennessee, central Tennessee, parts of the Carolinas and the Appalachian Mountains, northern parts of Georgia. Those ones won't be the most severe. Those aren't going to be the ones we're watching for, like tornadoes or anything like that. This is going to be the main line right here that is going to be pushing to the west as we go throughout this evening and into the overnight hours. We will continue to see that moving off to the west, causing some problems with, once again, damaging wind, large hail. And once again, I'm not expecting much with tornadoes, but maybe a possible spin-up, especially with this, if we get a QLCS, quasi-linear convective system, that is pretty strong. We could get some of those updrafts that could cause a spin-up tornado or two as we go throughout the evening and the overnight hours. These will continue to move to the west and towards the south, eventually moving throughout parts of northern Mississippi, and then eventually through central Tennessee and northern Alabama. As we go, this is by 9 p.m. tonight. By the time you guys are probably already heading to bed, there will be a lot of thunderstorm activity. This is where we expect the peak activity, scattered damaging winds, large hail, and a few tornadoes. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a severe thunderstorm watch as we go through the late afternoon when these storms start to explode. A severe thunderstorm watch for parts of Tennessee, maybe northern Alabama and northern Mississippi as well. Once again, that doesn't tell you what's going to happen. It just means conditions are favorable for the development of severe weather. Severe weather is possible, so make sure you're remaining alert. Have multiple ways to receive warnings so that you are alerted whenever severe weather is in your area. Now, here's a look at our second round of storms that we can see as we go into tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, we will start to see a lot of moisture moving across parts of Mississippi and Tennessee, I don't expect any of this to be really severe. Maybe a few scattered strong thunderstorms through parts of northern Louisiana. This is during the overnight hours by 2 a.m. Everybody should be asleep by this time. Just some heavy rain. This will eventually form maybe into another line. We could get some more damaging winds with this one across parts of northern Mississippi and moving into northern Alabama. Just a few scattered damaging wind gusts. Some large hail, especially with this one. Just expecting some damaging winds. Or I'm just expecting some mainly heavy rainfall and some frequent lightning. Once again, this will start to fizzle off as we go into the later morning hours. This is by 7 a.m. Storms starting to fizzle off as they move into parts of Alabama and Tennessee. But we will start to see more storms refire in parts of the Carolinas as we go throughout the day tomorrow as well. This is by Saturday afternoon. This will be by 4 p.m. A few scattered damaging winds and some large hail as we go throughout the day. Most of the severe weather will be off to the north in parts of Virginia, farther off to the north throughout parts of New York, and maybe even up towards the Maine area. The strongest storms, once again, we will still see some severe storms on Saturday, but they won't be as strong as farther out to the north. So that's something we can be thankful for. Just a few scattered strong to severe storms. Once again, as we go throughout the day, those will all fizzle out as we go into the night. Maybe a few scattered, showers as we go into the later evening hours. But this one's going to be mostly an afternoon threat. We don't expect these to last very far into the night. And then by Sunday, these are mostly out of here. Maybe a few rain showers farther off towards the coast of North Carolina, but not really expecting anything severe past tomorrow. Now, finally, moving on to the tropics. Here's a look at the area that is Invest 91L right now. This has been churning in the open waters of the Atlantic over the past few days. Hasn't organized crazily over the past few days, and that's just because of some dry air. Not as moist of an environment as it was seen back farther off to the west, which is good. A lot of dust that is tearing the storm kind of apart at the moment. Once it gets past these conditions, the conditions will be a little more favorable as it moves farther off to the west. But for right now, it's not looking like too strong of a system, which is very good. The National Hurricane Center has actually decreased the chances of development for the time being right now. In the next 7 days, 70% chance. It was originally 90% chance. And then over the next 48 hours, 40% chance. Not as much as before, and that's a good sign. Now, doesn't mean this isn't going to develop. No, not by any means. This still has a decent chance of developing, higher than 50% chance of developing as we go into the next couple of days. We still really need to continue to watch this, but some of the models are starting to hint that this maybe couldn't even develop at all. So there's still a chance of that. I really don't know what to think at this moment, and still the models are all over the place with where this thing goes. Some of them are like, not like that, but they're jumping all over the place. Some go out to sea really quickly and become pretty strong. Like if this turned out to sea, most likely it would be pretty strong, but it wouldn't impact anybody. If this moves into areas like the Caribbean, now we have really warm sea surface temperatures, and even down way into the sea, we have some really high ocean heat content, but there's going to be a lot of shear in place as it moves into the Caribbean. So if it can pass that shear, if it can get better organized, we do expect this to continue to stay pretty strong. Once again, if it develops at all, but we expect it to stay more on a little bit weaker if it moves into the Caribbean, at least until it makes it back out here to the Atlantic Ocean. We do expect it to eventually curve out to sea. Once again, where it goes from there is still very uncertain. We don't know if it's going to curve out, head towards the United States. Everything is still uncertain, and it's still even uncertain if this develops at this point. It's still more likely that it develops than not, but we are going to continue to watch this. And once again, I will let you know as soon as something jumps out to me. And really quickly, here's a look at some of the models, what they're showing. And like I said, they're just all over the place. There's a lot of models. There's some models that take it out here. There's some models that take it way farther out to the south, down here. Some that just kind of zigzag it around and then have it not even developing at all. There's still a lot of uncertainty with this storm. Some storms are easier to track. Some storms it's just really hard to get a grasp on what's going to happen. And that's all right, but it's a lot harder to forecast. We need to continue to watch this. Once again, I'm not saying any area is going to get hit at this moment. We still really don't know. We do know this is going to probably move into areas in the Caribbean Sea. That's probably more of a certain forecast at this point. It's still, whether it develops is still uncertain, but this will move towards the Caribbean, cause some extra rain, if any, or if not, gusty winds, tropical storm to a hurricane. I don't know. Once again, I still don't know. It's still really uncertain at this moment. I thought we'd be able to know by now pretty much what's going to happen, but this thing hasn't even developed yet. So once again, I stress that you don't worry about this. Don't tell anybody a huge hurricane is going to be hitting, because honestly, we still don't know. So I'm continuing to watch this. If anything really jumps out at me, if anything looks concerning, I'll be the first to let you know. And once again, that is all the weather info I've got for you today. Once again, thank you so much for tuning into today's video and supporting me. Once again, I try to post videos every single day, so don't miss a video, especially when a lot's going on, a lot of updates with the severe weather that's going on over the next couple of days, and the tropical system that we are continuing to track. This is what it looks like right now. Once again, very disorganized from what it looked like yesterday, so that's a good sign. We're continuing to track this. Not saying it's not going to develop, because there's still pretty high chances that it does, but I'm continuing to watch that. That's all I'm saying. So once again, make sure you're staying updated, and I will see you in the next video.